This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
All right, good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you're located at. Welcome to Trench Talk US, the Farron Dozier Show edition of the Military Talk Show. Thank you for listening today. As always, we have a very spectacular, important show for you right here on Trench Talk Edition US, here on Military Broadcast Radio Network, giving veterans a voice. So we appreciate them for allowing veterans, first responders, and their families to come here and have a platform to share our life experience. You know, I found this microphone here you see 14 years ago during my transition out of the military. For me, it was very difficult. I got out not by choice. I got up from a medical retirement, which most people would think like, hey, yeah, that's good. You got medically retired? Yeah, but it wasn't on my terms. And so how I can articulate it to you today is the identity crisis and the depression and the anxiety and all the stuff that came with that identity of being in that uniform for 24 years. That's all I knew. That's all I knew for those 24 years. And before that identity was a basketball player identity. So you can see how if you are into sports or are athletes, police officers, a lot of us deal with these transitions and these identity crises. But it's not just us. It's a human being flaw, right? Most people, if we tell the truth, are dealing with some kind of experience that we are trying to figure out how to manage in our life. And so for me, it was that soldier mentality, that mindset of being a soldier. And it was, like I said, difficult, but God has brought me through that. 14 years later, I'm still here. And this Trench Talk episode is pretty much my personal therapy. Like, I found a way to stay connected to my veteran community as a service member. And so I started interviewing soldiers from all different walks of life, all different branches, all different ages. As soon as you say you're a veteran and you served, it's like, you know, it's like a brotherhood. Well, not like, but it is a brotherhood, a brother sisterhood. So that connection is as we're going to talk about today, the mindset, the vet's mindset. We're going to get into some of this because I know I could speak from it. I'm not just talk about it, but I can actually speak from it. And my guest today as well. So again, we thank you for listening in. You can catch me here on NBR Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific time. You can catch me on the Farron Dozier show, the Life Towards Sports edition on KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM in the Inland Empire. Also at kcaradio.com. That's Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Also, I have a show on, used to be Dash Radio. Now it's called Lit Live. You can catch me over there. I have a Christian hip hop talk show called the Revolution Radio Show. It's on channel GH3, God's House of Hip Hop. That airs Saturdays at 7 and Sundays at 5 p.m. But if you want more information about what I'm up to, easy, just go to farrond.com and you'll find all the stuff that I'm up to in life. My spiritual journey as a youth minister in training, youth speaker in training. I also speak at my church. So I speak at 2 churches twice a month. That's ultimately one of my most important conversations. And then, of course, my sickle cell trait, which you'll hear about that later. If you want information about that, wdconsct.org. All right. So with that, we are going to play our public service announcement and come right back. I'm very excited today to have this guy as a guest today. We don't go way back, but we go back far enough, like not 4 flats on the Cadillac, but maybe 2 flats with a spare on it, right? So we go back a little bit of ways in this broadcasting world as well. So I'm very excited to have him today to talk about these veterans conversations, but more so to introduce him to the listeners and see what he's up to in his journey today. So again, thank you for listening in. This is Trench Talk US. I'm going to play these PSAs and we'll come right back and get right into the episode today. Thanks for listening in.
Some of us still carry the burden of battle. It threatens to drown us in our everyday lives. In battle, we had our weapons and combat gear to keep us safe, to keep us confident. But when we returned home, we were not armed with weapons and gear to cope with our own minds. I was lucky to find my combat gear, my mental weapon, and it's called Calmago. Calmago is a drug-free device that allows you to achieve calm in less than 3 minutes. In moments of anxiety, stress, anger, panic, or insomnia, not with medication, but rather by activating the parasympathetic nervous system through breathing regulation and multisensory stimulation. A recent study has shown that Calmago decreases PTSD and anxiety levels in veterans, helping those who are suffering and having a long-lasting effect. Visit Calmago.com to learn how you can get Calmago through the VA or with a special veterans discount code.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, did you see the game last night?
Oh, that was your game.
But did you see the shot?
I lost money from that shot.
Oh,
too,
man, that shot was cold,
I
man.
hated it, but it was good. Damn. What's in those jeans?
You really want to know?
I do.
Exhaustion, muscle spasms, asthmatic issues, unexpected sickle cell trait crises.
Damn. Are you serious? When I was young, I found out I had sickle cell trait. My mom's told me, but I ain't have no knowledge of it. But when I got older, I had a child, and the doctor told me my daughter has sickle cell trait. You know the facts that both parents have sickle cell trait? There's a 50% chance the child may have the trait, and 25% chance the child may have the disease.
Hey, that's what's the count. Do you know that 2.5 million people in the United States have sickle cell trait? 300 million people globally? I didn't find out I had sickle cell trait until I was in the Army 10 years. Next thing you know, I had a sickle cell trait exertion site.
Sickle cell? I thought that was a black gene or something.
Nah, man, the Latin community is number 2. 1 out of 36,000 babies are being born with sickle cell disease. You could be Caucasian, Mediterranean, European. You gotta know your bloodline, man. There is an inherited gene in our community that has been forgotten. The name is sickle cell trait. WDCONSCT, also known as What's the Count, is out to bring awareness, education, and prevention to people all over the globe. Want more information?
Call us now at 323-215-5384 or visit www.wdconsct.org.
All right, welcome back to the Dozier Show, Trench Talk U.S. edition. Again, thank you for listening in. Again, so my guest today, like I said, I've been in the broadcasting world, mostly self-taught. Since 2009 to 2010, I became an advocate out of my depression and anxiety, and my transition out of the military. A friend of mine told me, like, why don't you need to go do something with yourself? And so he's like, you should do like a sports show or something, because back then I was a huge sports fan. But for me, during that depression and suicide ideation, I lost interest in a lot of things, and sports was one. And so I found Blog Talk Radio and jumped on that and had a sports show. And that kind of kept me living into the future of that show versus in the future of uncertainty. And by maintaining that sanity with that talk show, and discovering that my sickle cell trait was what the cause of my military career coming to an end, and doing my research, I found that not just military personnel with sickle cell trait had complications, but athletes have died and collapsed from sickle cell trait exertion with rhabdomyolysis. So that connected me back to the sports world, but not from I want to check the highlights and watch the games per se, but it came to more of the mental toughness of sports, right? Because I could relate to the identity of an athlete, right? That's dealing with their whole sports career, maybe never really dealing with the emotions. We talk about emotional intelligence these days, right? So never really having an opportunity to deal with, grandma passing away, or the divorce of their parents, or a parent passing away, or whatever that is, a loved one, and you emotionally never get a chance to deal with that because you're so focused on, playing this game, or get into college or get into professional sports. And so we see professional athletes, when their career comes to an end, sometimes they're lost. We hear about all of that stuff, right? And so as veterans, we know that one every 65 minutes, a veteran, our brother and sister, completes their life. And so what is that, right? And so I was there. I know what that feels like. I know what it tastes like. I know what it is to want to do that. But then what interrupted that for me was the willingness to try to figure out, like, I know I have mental toughness. I know I played basketball, but that feeling of emotional distress I had never felt before like that. And so if you look in life, as I mentioned, veterans, take their life, complete their life, police officers. So what is it about the human being that we're trying to figure out? Why am I born? Why am I here? Right. And God showed me that through all of that madness, that sickle cell trait gene was what I was born in my mother's womb to deliver a message. And I needed that military career, right? That was part of the plan, but it wasn't my purpose of my life. It got me to where I need to be today. And I still use that mentality in my work. And so when we talk about the veteran mindset and we talk about what it is, what's going on, it's not just veterans. That's we're still people first, right? And so when we talk about these conversations here on these platforms, it's really to help share our stories, our testimonies, so that maybe somebody out there who's listening, your heart can be softened, and to figure out, why were you born? What is your purpose, your passions? What do you care about? And I share that with my veteran community today. Don't lose yourself. I lost myself in that rank, in that camouflage. I didn't know who Farron was until I had to go through those episodes. And unfortunately, some people don't make it through that. Some people never discover why they're here. But we can have those conversations. So my guest today, my context for this conversation is life before, during, and after military service, right? And so my guy here is going to share what he's up to in life before, during, and after service. You ready, sir?
Oh, man. Don't ask somebody that no more. If I'm ready, I was born ready. I was born October 21st. I'm ready.
How you doing?
Man, Farouk, man, let me tell you, for people out there who don't know, me and his buddy met at LA Live. I think it was 2012, man.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Doing Cinco de Mayo, because we were doing Cinco de Mayo. Our first show ever, me and my boy Van Eric. Marshall. Yeah, it was Cinco de Mayo,
Yeah.
and we had the Veterans Day live, and we out there helping the vets. Yes, I was a vet for a stint. I was a 13 Bravo. I mean, injury kind of prone, the flat feet, the
Oh yeah.
right knee, and yeah, it does. The boot camp for Lindenwood, it
Ooh, Fort living in the
yeah,
woods.
for living in the woods. Exactly. I'm a country boy by heart, but raised in the in California, raised in the country.
Yeah.
After I was born here, and a phenomenal story. I have a book out, and for those who don't know who I am, my name is DeAndre Adams, aka Big Dre,
Yeah.
future city councilman of District 8, Los Angeles. I'm going to win it.
Working that out. Working that out.
And when Farouk called me and said, "Man, I got this concept for these shows," that's all you had to say one time. I was in right away. I wasn't wasting no time.
Yeah.
I hear all my idols, Joe Rogan, Dan Patrick, even Stephen F. Man, I love Stephen because he's just straight to the point.
Right.
And of course Shannon Sharp and all the good ones, and my main man Shaq. And Shaq let it happen. And I'm not here to throw no flag on nobody's coffin. They're not dead yet. But there's a lot of lame ones out there too. I'm not gonna say your name.
But Big Dre,
Yes, sir.
we was doing this when it wasn't even done like this, man.
All
At
day
LA
long.
Talk Live, we had cameras. It was streaming.
Yes,
Ustream.
yes,
We had
it was.
Apple Play. We had
Yes.
Live 365. We was
All
playing
that.
music,
everything.
man. Before
and
all of this,
before the
podcasting.
storm, everything. And to see what you have been through, like you said, wearing that camouflage takes it out of you.
Yeah.
And it brings you. They destroy your soul and bring you back out of the ashes as a phoenix. But then sometimes people don't come out them ashes. They stay stuck in the ash.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I got lucky and got injured, got out. But then God said, I got something different for you.
Yeah.
He healed the right leg, the left leg went bad with the meniscus. Play baseball. I was a hell of a baseball player.
Yeah.
I left California as an All-American going to our sophomore year of baseball.
Wow.
But then I was a heck of a basketball player. But
hold on, let's say we go. I'm gonna guide this. I'm gonna guide you. We gonna guide the conversation, man. Again, thank you for those who are listening and
yes, sir.
checking this out. We appreciate you. We got a couple of comments over here. We got Nelson Lil TV. You know who that is? They said Grand Rising.
Grand Rising, it may be somebody I know.
Somebody yeah.
I say Grand Rising. Grand Rising is always good because I just say God's Day. Me and the missus say God's Day.
Yeah.
We don't try to put it on that Good Morning. Good Morning has a different meaning to us. So we say it's God's Day. Without God's Day is no day.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at things.
Let's go. So we're gonna go back in time, life before service. So who was Little Dre growing up? Let's go to Little Dre first.
There you go. Well, see, Little Dre is a kid that was the youngest of 13 people in the household. We was a black Brady Bunch twice.
Y'all had all the squares, huh?
Yeah, all the squares. We had those squares a little bit more. And the housekeeper name was Thelma Adams, rest her soul, my mom. Wow. And Curtis Adams, rest her soul, my dad. Yeah. That was a housekeeper. That was back and forth. We did our part, me and my sisters and my brothers. But I was story about me. I was stillborn. I died at birth. My mother died giving birth to me, and we both came back 22 minutes after one another.
What?
This is the most emotional story that whoever listens right now may have a healing heart behind this. My mother gave birth to me. I was like a miracle child. Number 13, after her body's been through so much, after 12 kids, number 13 comes like, oops, we have one more. Wow. And she knew I was going to be that special kid. She just knew. She said she knew it because when I died, I was stillborn, stopped breathing. I was the blue black baby, I call it.
Wow.
And I sat by mom's bosoms for 27 total minutes. The first 4, she sat there, looked at me, said, I don't think he's breathing. They can say, oh, he's breathing, he's fine. And the nurse said he's not breathing. And then there it was. And wow. I left this world for 22 minutes, and God took me and said, okay, I'm going to look down. I'm going to look down. We're going to look down together as a young child growing up into a man. He took my whole life from a baby to where I was going to be at where I'm at now. All the trials, tribulations, the things I've been through, the hurt, the pain, asthma,
found out sickle cell trait. My family, my middle boy, and shout out to all three of my sons. Michael, Roderick, and Trevor, and the fourth son I found out I had while we was on the show live on LA Talk.
Yeah.
We on the show, and some caller calls in and say it was about deadbeat daddies in the military. And here comes this call. Truly, my manager, my manager said, this woman said she know you. I said, what? So at the commercial break, I go in the office. He say, I said, how old is my son? I just knew right away.
What?
Yeah. I had a son I never knew about.
Oh my goodness.
Incredible ball player. So this was all in this dream. As a kid, the guy was sitting up there telling me what I was going to go through. Never showed the tribulation, but he knew I was going to hit these humps in my life.
Yes.
And everything. So then, as God said, now you ready to go back and start your journey.
Wow.
And boom. So and they never touched me. My father said, don't touch her, don't touch her, don't touch her.
Yeah.
Don't touch her. All of a sudden,
tell her we can hear her in the background. Tell her we can hear her.
and I kept saying, who in the heck let the dog out? And I said to myself, who did that? And what happened? I'm sorry, folks. He was on a business call.
It's okay. It's okay.
And because we had an office at Regency in LA, we have a couple of offices at Regencies. But we said, hey, let's do something different, and I'm gonna let you come back. And I figured, I was your mom. So as I come back, my mom stopped breathing.
Wow.
So when I'm coming out, her heartbeat rate is slowing down. She goes, and her testimony in church before God took her as a grown woman back into childhood, the opposite way.
Wow.
And she says, this is the element of life. And my clothing line, I'm talking about my boy Derek Two-Tones, who does all my clothing line stuff. Derek, I know you're watching, who does all my clothing for me. A hell of a printer, but an IT tech guy by trade. But a hell of a printer.
Yeah.
All my sweats, I have it's a Lions den. It's Big Dre 45 collection. And that 45 stands for elements of life. It's the four corners of the earth. 4. The 5 is the 5th element of the thing you deal with life. Number 1 is birth. Number 2, 3, and 4, what you make a life. And number 5 is death, which you're judging. So that's how I came with that.
That's tight.
That's how I came with that. So people kept saying, me and Vet was laugh about it. You're going to be 45 victims. 45 victims. And what happened when President Trump came? He was the 45th president.
Yeah, he was.
And I said to myself, the elements of life. So you can say what you want to say about the man. I'm in between that.
Yeah.
He said right now it's up to God. Was God to control this country? It ain't got nothing to do with that man.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that.
I don't say he's good or he's bad or he's ugly. It's up to us as individual people.
Yes.
Understand what's really going on. So that's what little Dre was raised on in the church.
In the church. So we go spiritual later on. We're gonna go to the spiritual aspect later on.
So that's what happened. So as I grew older, I knew the testimony. I watched it. My mother always put me in church on the spot. This is my testimony baby right here. You call me the testimony baby, not the test tube baby. The testimony
baby. Wow.
So it was crazy. So I went through all the elements of dealing with asthma. I was still playing, swimming, running. She said, how could a boy have asthma and run like this? No, I'm running the speed, and I had lightning speed, and baseball just came natural. And I shout out to my boy Fred Berry, the late Fred Berry, of course, we all know of. His brother Matthew Berry discovered me playing baseball.
What?
And he discovered me. I'm on the back of my fence on my yard in Pomona, throwing walnuts at cars going by.
Oh, you used to do that too?
Yes.
We threw rocks though.
Yeah.
We were throwing rocks. We were throwing walnuts. No, we were throwing rocks.
I threw walnut and hit his wife through the window in the van going by. And he bagged up. And I ran. I had all the green smut walnut on my white t-shirt. My father said, the man said, hey, these kids throwing rocks, hit my wife on the side of the face. And I'm sleeping, Bob. It's like 3 in the afternoon. My father, sleeping at 3 in the afternoon. Bring your little narrow butt out here. I go out there and I said, oh my God, I see them making bacon on the side of his van. 2 little pigs having sex. And I said, oh my God, this is crazy. And come to find out, I never knew he was Matthew Berry, the older brother of Fred Berry from What's Happening in the remote. And and there were lockers and stuff. So it was like, I have a baseball team. He throw that good. He must be on a throw. How your wife doing? Yeah, she's all right. She had a mark. So I had to work for them for 6 months.
Are you serious?
take all the trash out, and they had kids. His son was Stephen Williams, my friend, and their daughter was Carrie. And she said, "You hit my mama, we're gonna beat you up." And they beat me. I go over there, I get beat up first, and I do the chores. So I got beat up first to do the chores.
Let me ask you this. One of my first main segments is life of a 5-year-old, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is dedicated to my dad. My dad passed in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
But what I discovered at 40 years old in my transition of coming out of that mental health and stuff is that I had made up a story that my dad didn't love me. Right.
Oh, okay.
And so for not everyone, but for some of us, the world says you got daddy issues, you got mama issues, right? How would you say your relationship with your dad? How was that growing up for you?
My relationship with my father. My father was really not my hero. He's always working. He's a truck driver, always on the road. My hero was my godfather, rest his soul, Pat Patterson. He showed me how to cut grass, hedge grass, do the gardening stuff. He showed me how to do all that stuff. But it was one exercise he made me do, to made me change my whole life. He said, "Close your eyes. You're gonna cut this whole front yard with your eyes closed." Now you can't see. These people who are blind can see better than Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder, people, Julio Feliciano, all the people that could do that stuff blind, walking without people holding them. I said, "That'd be a piece of cake, man." I got to do cutting that. It was a big giant maze circle, all the place. I said, and he said, "See now, what's this whole exercise? What was the exercise all about?" Godfather. He said to show you that mental health is very important in this world. He's a World War I vet and part of two.
Wow.
So he said, mental health is very important if you don't guide the right concept of your life's understanding and things around you.
Wow.
Will kill you.
Wow.
And it was deep. And he told me, I said, so when the grass grew back, he cut the grass. Let me see your old butt cut the grass down, blindfolded. He cut that grass so sharp, Farron. I have never seen anybody cut a grass that it didn't miss an inch.
Wow. Blindfolded.
The whole line, huge line. I said, Are we being punked before Aston Kutcher was born? I'm looking around like, who in the bush is going to jump out a big old giant 400-pound camera back in them days, 70s.
Right.
I said, so I said to myself, but my dad would be on the road. He would call me and say, "I'm bringing something back from Texas." And he would bring like this. He'd bring this big old giant bag of prunes back.
Oh, okay.
Little sour prunes.
Yeah. Make sure you go to the bathroom. Huh?
Oh, yeah, big time. So I get prune. And he say, and I was sucking on for like 20, 30 minutes and all sour. And I would get my sister to some. And that was my time with him. He had a 66 GTO, mint condition until he died in 2020. That same brand, same red color, the chrome, everything original, never lost. And of course, my mom passed in 2014 and he remarried, and the little witch from who came and got everything and then never gave us our family stuff back. But crazy. But yeah, you're right. I felt my father didn't love me for years after that.
Now let me ask you, looking back as an adult,
mm-hmm.
and him being a truck driver and driving, to make a living to provide for his family, did you see that differently? Like, man, like he was driven to be a provider, or what? How did you find peace with that? Because he was doing that for a reason, right?
Yeah, he was. My father was a great provider. He never cursed. I mean, if he did, only him and God know. My father would slam his hand. He'd say, "Sweet potatoes and biscuits." I mean, he would say, if he slammed his hand with a nail, he would never. I said, "Come on, you can do it. Take some bad. Shit some ass." He would never do it.
He would do it.
He was like, "Mother, bean of biscuits." I said, "What the hell is a bean of biscuit, Dad?" I said, "Come on, you can do it." And he just never did it. So one day I said, "I'm gonna never cuss for my dad's great." Until I had a log, and I was logging in Mississippi, hit this thumb right here and lost his nail. I said some words. I don't know if Prince would understand. He would say, "That's the nastiest song ever written." Mother up, you son of a bitch. I was using words. I didn't even cuss words. We haven't even invented yet in America.
Wow.
There was so much pain in my thumb. I knew my dad was something special, just a quiet Sagittarian man. October 9th. I'm going to talk December 9th. It says he's real quiet but humble. Wow. My mama, vocal.
Yeah. We're gonna get to moms in a second.
Oh, yeah. But that's what it was. Just my father, I didn't love him as much as I thought I did until I lost him.
See,
you know.
See, and that's why we have these talks, because we don't want people to, I mean, our stories are going to be what they are.
You got one mama, you got one daddy.
We can recognize that before that person passes, so you don't have to. But for those who get stuck with that resentment and regret sometimes, I was so grateful that I healed my dad, and I had 8 years with him before he passed.
Exactly.
Right. And so
my father hid his ailment. Excuse me, he hid his ailment of pancreatic.
Oh, did he?
He had cancer. He died of cancer. Pancreatic. He hid it for some reason. I said, and the new wife came in town. Well, your father's perfectly fine. I said, you sure? And I was on the road still bodyguarding.
Wow.
And my father was very always, a dangerous son. You're gonna get killed, taking bullets right. My mother's always my hero. She's always my biggest fan. My dad, no. So I think he never came to my baseball games, never came to basketball game. And the both times he came through, I got injured both of them. I said, don't come no more. Don't come ever again. Don't come, Pop.
That's
I love
so
you.
cool.
Yeah. So, but I loved him. I went back home.
Of course.
Dad, I said, one thing he did teach me: safety is a virtue for me. Being safe. So I teach that in my grandsons and daughters, and I teach that my son.
For sure.
I teach my girl too. I'm a safety holic. I
think I'm with you on that one. My dad taught us how to drive. Taught me how to drive. Where, like you're saying, he taught me how to see the front bumper while I'm in the driver's seat. You got to be able to know what the front bumper is, the rear bumper, the side. So, like you're saying, that mental health. That's and so the same way.
I'm telling you, you got
to visualize that bumper.
Mental is deep. That's why the military is so critical of that, because if you're gonna be handling $40 million equipment, you got those prowlers, you got those you got the Cobras, you got the Apaches. Man, about to trust you with a $50 million plane in the air. You can't use the mental capacity of it of fighting under pressure.
My property book was $6 million, so I was a supply sergeant at one point.
And 1.2 million that missing, they come looking for Dozier.
They're looking for me.
Staff first class Dozier. Where's he at? He went to the bathroom. He been going 11 days now.
Last piece about your dad. If you had to think of a song, what's the first song that comes to mind about your father?
A gospel song. My father, great singer. It was called "I'm Working on the Building." I'm working on the building. True Foundation. My father's favorite song. Every time Sunday come, I pass that. We hear one selection from Curtis Adams, Deacon Adams. He had to sing that favorite song, "Work on the Building." And we had to listen to it. So we get over in the station wagon. We had a Brady Bunch station wagon, same color. Brady Bunch.
My goodness, no.
We rolled down the street. We started singing, "We work," But he said, "You work, or you gonna work on them chores," So we had to come to chores and do it. So
cool.
That's what it was, man. But that's why I remember most of them singing that song to us all the time at church.
Thank you for sharing that about your dad. This is Trench Talk US, the Farron Dozier Show. Right, God. Big Dre is in the building. DeAndre Adams is here sharing his background, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to come right back after the station identification break and get more into some of this military stuff.
Yes, sir.
On what that was like real quick, all right? Again, this is the Farron Dozier Show right here on MBR, Charlotte, South County.
Introducing LT Defense Tactical Gear, your ultimate solution for top-notch protection and performance in the field. Our armor bundles provide unmatched safety and comfort, while our battle belts and holsters ensure quick and easy access to your gear. Stay prepared for any situation with our high-quality medical supplies, designed to keep you ready for action at all times. Looking to enhance your skills? Our firearms training programs will take your proficiency to the next level. Trust LT Defense for all your tactical gear needs and gear up for success on the battlefield.
Do you remember studying sickle cell in biology class? What's the Count on Sickle Cell Trait Prevention is here to bring you awareness, education, and prevention conversations around the risk factors of this inherited gene. Visit wdconsct.org.
Muchos de nosotros nos vemos afectados por la enfermedad de células falciformes a diario y un número creciente simplemente no nos damos cuenta. Los impactos de esta enfermedad afectan a todas las personas y en especialmente a las personas de color y con antecedentes diversos. Estar en servicio conmigo y con los demás a medida que creamos una mayor conciencia sobre cómo identificar y dirigir el tratamiento de los rasgos de células falciformes y ayudar a las familias a saber cómo superar el trastorno de células falciformes. WDCONS
Zetovia salve, made from natural and organic ingredients, good for inflammation, poor circulation, hemorrhoids, yeast infection, lip sores, dry coughs, eye pain, minor cuts and bruises, and ready to purchase at botanicaherbalco.com. BOTANICAHERBALCO.com. botanicaherbalco.com.
All right, welcome back to Trench Talk US of the Farron Dozier Show edition. Again, thank you for listening in. I hope you are enjoying the conversation so far. That first part of that episode is very important to me. I teach especially around reconciliation and forgiveness. When my dad, passed away, I was so grateful that we had reconciled our relationship, because I know that if I had not today, I probably would be in some little hole in the corner somewhere because of all the stuff that I thought that he didn't care or love me or was there for me. But it wasn't until I was 40 years old that I realized for 35 years that I thought my dad didn't love me, but he did. And when I went to him, see, I didn't wait for my dad to come to me. Some people wait for people to come to them for forgiveness. No, I went to my dad and said, hey, thank you for just teaching me how to color and to walk and to taking me to these places. And then I told him, I made up a story about him that I discovered that wasn't the truth. It was my truth, but it wasn't the truth. And all my dad said was, I just want to spend time with you. You're my son. So it never even affected him. I was the one carrying that weight. I was the one carrying that lack of, or what I thought he didn't. And so we teach that because it's biblical. We talk about honoring your father and mother. Yes, you're not going to love or like your mom or dad every day. That's not realistic. But the honor is how you think about them in your heart. And that's why it's so important to honor your father and mother, because it's how we think about them is most important. And no one walks around that says, oh, I don't love my mom. I don't love my dad. Well, I would say I love them, but they get on my nerve. And so I actually went to work around why I felt that they got on my nerve. So that part of that segment is so important, because as we look in today's society, our children that's our next generation. And how do we keep those children attached to us, connected to us? Because the sense of belonging is so important. That's what we look for as human beings. We want to belong. That is the most important thing. But sometimes with our parents, who are the two most important people of our life, that there's a fracture or a wound or a disappointment or whatever that is. And sometimes we don't know what it is to be an adult as a child. So we make up these stories. The brain makes up these stories to fill in. And then now we walk around with, they don't care about me, or I was abandoned. And it might not be the truth. So that is very important for me. One of my main conversations outside of my sickle cell trait talks. So thank you for listening, tuning in for that piece. Let's bring them back, man.
Man, oh man. And I hear it, man, and it's so wonderful you talk about that, because I was a mama's boy, being a young 13, man. I got away with a lot of stuff, man. Throwing rocks, breaking windows out of cars, but never really sold no drugs. But I practiced an occasional fraction of being around the neighborhood.
Hey. No one can cast that first stone at you, my guy. Nobody can cast that stone at you.
That's why I had my boy make the necklace for me from Goodwood. It's a peace sign. It's had a peace sign. You know what I mean? My boy Goodwood, so my boy Darren at Goodwood, made me a peace sign hand necklace. But yeah, and like you said about sickle cell I call it the misunderstandable disease that I consider a situation that people think is a black disease. It's not. It's not such thing as a black disease.
No,
whatever it is, when you deal with, and sickle cell trait, and people, it's a good chance people who are born can get the whole entire disease. T-Boz is a prime example from TLC. And I have a grandson who's autistic, so I know autism is very, very painful.
Yes,
my good friend Tony Braxton have a son, and so does my boy Rodney Pete and his wife. Have a son autistic, and I kind of think a couple of celebs I know has sons who had sickle cell, and he's dealing with that. My sister Darlene had sickle cell and she had lupus, and she passed.
That's what I was about to say. You and I was when we first met. We was talking about sickle cell and lupus back then.
Yeah,
I'm a lupus advocate.
Yeah, as you know, and it's to see people who died of lupus. You ask yourself, juice. It's what we trained to put in our mouths now.
Yeah.
A doctor told me you're going to lose 60, 70 pounds or you're going to die. And I'm 6'4". I'm not saying my weight. I'm 6'4", 357, and I lost 8 pounds because I've been doing a cleanse called it's with turmeric, lemon juice, pepper for the last 14 days. Now me and the mistress said if we're gonna love each other and marry each other, we gotta live together as one with the healthiness of putting things in our mouth that means something.
For sure.
As we as black people.
Yeah.
But I have some of my wonderful white friends I love so much. I have one named Kevin Indigo Coppola is a good friend of mine. He's the blackest white guy. He's my brother, and movie coming out called Black Creek. He's the first movie to have Indian / martial arts. The legendary Grandmaster Cynthia Rock is the star. Yeah, and he's in the movie. He plays Indian, Blackfoot, like myself. And I know he has some. He's a former vet, Army too.
Okay.
And, you know, you deal with stuff. You know, you deal with a lot of. He's on the show back in the day. You deal with a lot of things that we try to figure out why. And then my mother played a big part. And I went in the military because I dared my cousin. My cousin was just getting in trouble all the time in Mississippi. So I said, I'm gonna go to the National Guard. My uncle said, no, be a real man will go serve his country. I said, you know, I didn't want to hear that one because him being a Vietnam vet, he was the first Ranger.
No wonder he said that.
Yeah. You know, I said, come on, man. And I have an uncle now who I deal with all the time. Still alive. He never even got his benefits. He hadn't even applied for him. He said, you don't want him. He's back in the Agent Orange era. He refused to go. He's 73 years old. I said, all the back pay you get right now, man.
Right now, yes.
I said, he said he didn't want to do it. He said, I said, it's just too much. I said, I'm going there with you, help you get started.
No, tell him we got people that will help him.
Yeah, go to the process and get all that money. And you got the son and daughter. One of his sons was murdered. My cousin was murdered. This is my father, him and brothers. I had 3 aunties. I had 2 twins, Maisie and Daisy. My aunt Daisy's gone. Maisie, Juanita, and my aunt Brenda still alive. And they was All-American basketball players. My twin aunties was Maisie and Daisy, and my oldest was oldest sister, auntie Juanita was an All-American basketball at Alcorn State. So the traits in our family come from heart disease, liver, diabetes, and they're in the country, Mississippi, hardcore, hog, chitlins, everything.
But you know, it's funny you talk about that because after I got back in church about 5 years ago, man, and you look at, the work is in the soul. The work is in the mind, the will, and emotions, right? And I started thinking about that. They say, "Oh, we had soul food back in the day, right?" But when I filter that soul food through the biblical context, it's like that ain't good then. Well, no wonder we got cholesterol and diabetes because you talk about if you're feeding the soul is that's not good for the soul. No wonder. It's like it just kind of made sense to me that way. It was like, wow.
Yeah, it makes no sense at all. It makes no sense at all because I think soul food was death food back in the
exactly.
We eat hooter to the tooter, a pig's butt. You call that soul food?
No, man. No.
We call that gutter. That's trench food.
But here we are today trying to break that
habit.
Break those habits because that's what's been passed down to us for holiday meals and Thanksgiving and all these.
That's true. That's true.
Now you say the way the quality of food is. But before we go and right before your military experience, you was this athlete.
Yes.
So where do you equate your mental toughness from? Was it from the environment or from the sports or?
Well, the environment where I grew up at, and also the military. After that little small stitch I had for the injury, made me realize that you can be whatever you want to be when you want to be. So I think a lot of times these people who complain about this, complain about that, and I just say bring back the draft. Get these little young people who want to fight so much. Put your put an AR-15 or something in your hand, let your M16, let you do what you want to do.
Right.
And see how you handle yourself. Because when you're shooting a gun like this, running,
In the movies, the movie style.
Oh, the movie style.
It's not real.
It's not real. I say, guys, or you getting shot by a real enemy who wants to kill you.
Yes.
Your whole soul changes.
Yes.
And that's why I tell people, because my fiance over here, she's over at the club, lovely. She's a barber by trade for over 18 years, but truck driver almost. Well, barber 20 years, and then a truck driver 18. Mm-hmm. 5 foot nothing, but thinks he's 6'1". And she's my mental toughness because what she went through, her chain of command got her ousted early because she just said she couldn't take the military command of authority. Yeah. And sometimes people just tell you, you can't be barking at me like you lost your mind. And that's how I felt. I'm like, man, who you think you're talking? Boy, I ain't gonna have me. And I thought about my uncle said, boy, if you give up, we're not gonna ever talk to you again.
Oh my goodness.
In the back of my mind. And I ended up injured and hurt. Whoa. And got discharged and I was hurt. Just couldn't do it with the flat feet. She said it. I snuck by him because my grandmother, rest her soul, made me walk on rocks all the time. I walked through these rocks, which it was making my arches do weird thing. So doctor, he said, "You think you run these miles?" I was doing it,
No way.
boot camp, and it's like, "Do you know?" And that's that Blackfoot Indian, that toughness.
Yeah,
don't want to give up.
Yeah.
But now I'm the biggest wussy in the world. I get it, my nail hang now. I'm about to pass out. Like I couldn't do it no more. But my mother was my road runner.
Yeah, no doubt.
A beast. My mom was like, she would fight anybody, anytime. When I found out my great granddad was a sole partner of Nat Turner, the Rebellions Against Slavery. Wow. Her grandfather, great-grandfather, and my great-great-great-grandfather was Nat Turner's sidekick, pretty much. He said, if you die, we all gonna die. Yeah. He didn't take nothing from the white man, and they just felt, if you're gonna hang me, I'm gonna hang you. All that good stuff. So everything is good, and it was great. So God's been good when it comes to that stuff I was dealing with. Going through that. So the mindset of being in the military and making me say, okay, like I injured, I had to leave. I said I have to do something now. It was so hard transition back after 2 years. I didn't know what to do.
Let's talk about that because it's one of the things that I've learned in this journey of healing in my own. Like I said, I don't talk about nothing that I haven't experienced. Mm-hmm. Is one of the most important things. You ask any veteran, it's the camaraderie, the relationship, right? That's what we miss the most. I don't miss the BS. I still miss it today. I don't miss the BS that came with it, but you miss the friendship that guy would or that girl would die for you, or we would die for it. And so in that military conversation, that for some that brain clicks over from a civilian to a military, and then what I learned is even in social issues today, it applies that we were trained to objectify another human being as an object and then kill that object. As you mentioned, your family were part of these World War I and World War IIs and Vietnam, that we were trained to objectify another human being. But it happens today with black and white issues. It happens with police officers. I'm a suspect before I'm a person. You a Clippers fan, I'm a Laker fan, or whatever. That I'll kill you because you got on a jersey of another team that I don't even own the team. But I'm like, we don't realize how powerful that mindset is.
I'm a Laker fan. You a Clipper fan. You swinging at each other. I'm gonna shoot you in territory that you don't own on the street corner. I said, you don't own that land. Why you say blood and gut? What are you people? Mindset. And that's what it was. In the military, he started having gangs in the military. We was having gangs in the police force. Everything. So I got out. I said, what am I gonna do? I got myself ready to go. I said, I'm gonna get back into playing baseball. And I was very young and got back out. I said, we try to play baseball again. And I met up with Darryl Strawberry with Mississippi on the Jackson Mets farm team for the New York Mets in Mississippi. Whoa. And I go to the game in the center field. I said, D Straw. So I said, D Straw. He goes, who about D Straw? All people knew about D Straw, people from the hood. He knew. Right. Can't be from here. I said, I'm from LA, was born and raised in LA, but I'm a Mississippi boy. Well, you know, way out here. My mom and dad made me come out here. He said, man. And he pitched against me my freshman year. He's a senior in high school.
What?
See, I think Daryl's 61 now. I'm 58. He was a senior, and I was the only person got hit off of him. He pitched a 2-hitter, and one person on a run, and I got the only hit off him. No hitter, 2-hitter. So he just said, man, if you want to become the best, do what you have to do. He said, your mental toughness. He said, picture yourself in the military and you're in a trench hole at gunfire. All you got is your gun left, and you got a clip, maybe 3 bullets left in the clip, and you got 1 clip left.
Right.
But you got 40 soldiers, and you got to figure out either get help or try to take as many as you can out before your demise.
No doubt.
So you have to think about choices.
Yeah.
And like my boys say, there's 2 things we have in life: a chance and a choice.
Mm.
And every time you wake up in the morning, you have a chance to do something different, and the choice is what you make of when you out in the streets. So I tell my son, hop in that car that got the ignition wire hanging out, and that's your choice you're gonna make. And the chance you get not getting caught.
You know what?
That's what it is.
We're not different in the same. I'm 50. I'm about to be 55. So our age range is about the same mindset of if you know your license is suspended and you go try to make a run to the store, you taking a chance.
Chance all day long.
If you know your tags is expired, and I gotta run to the store to get these.
Look, and not by 3 or 4 months. We're talking 2, 3 years. Probably having tags be expired 3, 4 years, trying to run to Mexico with it. Trying to run to Mexico.
I understand.
And then you get mad when you get pulled over.
Right.
You want to challenge the police officer, which is not your color.
Come on,
bro. And all he doing his job. And then when you get in this gunfight, boom. You know how many times I've been hassled? I'm going to tell you why I'm running for city council in the next segment, why I'm running. For that reason why I'm running, because of what the sheriff did to me. But it took me a while to understand what I really wanted to do.
Yeah. Hold on. With the baseball segment, on my sports show.
Oh yeah, the sports show. Okay,
sports. That baseball segment is gloves for days. Is my segment for baseball. So what was your gloves for days? What happened?
I had a cannon, man. I had a cannon. LSU came calling my senior year in high school. But all white team, one brother, the chocolate chip man was me.
Yeah.
White folks didn't like that when I made the team.
Yeah.
They burned across my yard at the age of 17, my senior year in high school. My mother, who loved to fight, all it was an apron, a frying pan, and a rolling pin. She would carry that every she got. I said, Mom, what are you gonna do with the rolling pin? The skillet, I understand. You go for hot grease and walk around and just put on people. But when she felt like they burned across next to my butane tank in the South for me making a team and go home, nigga, on the side of my house, because I was 17, I had to pay it off. When I was 18, I was 19, I paid the house off, $10,000 they gave me. And they burned. I said, now you burned it. So what I'm gonna do? So I get my 6'4" Chevrolet pickup truck, grab my 12 gauge Mossberg shotgun. I go to their playhouse, shot their tires out their car and the windows out the back.
Oh my goodness.
So I come back home, and of course your good old boy sheriff department. They get there and my dad's there. He knew what I did. He said, give me a gun. And he takes it and put it in a towel. And Sheriff Newman pulls up. This is Sheriff Newman Jr. His dad was a good old boy, sheep man, sheriff before he passed, and his son took over. So my dad went to school together. Now, at this time, my grandfather was still alive and very powerful. He's a Mason and very powerful in Mississippi. And when my grandfather come by to visit, he got a car. He walked real slow over there, his little cane. He said, boy, Newman, how you doing? He said, doing good, Lee Adam. He said, what you want to do with my grandson? He said, your grandson went down and disrupted a clubhouse. He shot up some car. He said, I'm sure he had a good reason. And he turned and looked at me with his hand on his cane, and I'm waiting for your reason, grandson. I said, look what they did to my house, Grandpa. Ooh. He said, oh, so now my son's a nigga, and you want to come and arrest him. He said, would not be no arresting this day in my grandson's front yard. And that sheriff said, I understand, Lee, Mr. Adams, I'm going to leave y'all alone, let y'all talk about it. Talk about what? Will not be no arrest in this family, none this week or next week, and week after that.
Oh, wow.
And they went to jail for it. Never got a record for it, nothing.
Mississippi, huh?
That's how I knew my grandfather was a powerful man, Mason. He killed a man at 19 and got off an all-white jury. By seeing the ring and the judge been a Mason, he saw this man give me no crime. Y'all didn't see nothing. People look at what? He said the look on their face when they said, y'all didn't see nothing.
Hey.
And my grandfather walked. And then what he did, it went and hauled logs. They had mules back in the day. He pulls a log up to a tree that turned to a petrified rock. And he sold it to the museum for $100,000 back in 1920. And he's going to invest all the money in the business he was in.
Come on.
Yeah, we have a street in that's Mississippi, a street in all a bank too. So
I appreciate you saying that, because for many of us don't have the opportunity to sit with our grandparents or our great grandparents to find out what was life going on
back in
their day, right? And
Mhm.
again, it's so important, because now that we have this whole racial conversation in black and white, but people forget that the white skinned people who came to this country as second class citizens, fleeing from their country for an opportunity in the United States, they
Yes.
didn't get along with each other either. And today they
Yes.
still don't really, even
Yeah.
though they're unhyphenated and they can check
Facts.
the white box,
Facts.
but they
Facts.
still don't get along. And so what you
Mhm.
point to for me is this next piece of this whole inclusion and exclusion and this whole diversity and
Mhm.
inclusion stuff. And it's like, for me, it's not just what you do for me as an inclusion or exclusion. It's
Mhm.
I also have to experience that for myself to be
Mhm.
included.
Yes,
So
you
you
have
can
to.
open up all these doors for me and do all this affirmative action and give me opportunities. But if I don't have the mindset or the mental toughness to walk through that door to see if I even want to do it, or my environment has taught me you can't do that. You got to get a job at McDonald's, man, because we got to pay these bills. You got to get a job at the store. Like, you can't be no
All day
engineer.
long.
You
All day
can't be
long.
no
Yeah.
scientist. You can't do that. You can't. No, you got to go get
You
this job.
can't be a hidden pioneer like my boy Rodney.
Exactly.
A pioneer. You
all
can't
of that.
do that. And Rodney is my campaign manager. Shout out to my boy Rodney. He might be watching.
Rodney.
And you know Rodney, of course.
Yeah,
and,
I'm a hidden pioneer on the low key too.
So you know what's really
Yeah,
going to happen in this world. I know what my initiative is running for city council, and what the biggest tug of war going to be running in 2028, right in the middle of the Olympic stuff coming up. It's going to be a war zone. So people say, "Are you prepared for that?" Let me tell you how I'm prepared for it. I'm like 10 Speed and Brown Shoes TV show. I'm like I'm a Man Called Hawk, Spencer Fire
Okay,
High.
now I remember the Man Called Hawk.
Yeah,
I remember that one. I'm
So
I remember that one.
I'm a bald-headed boy with a big gun. Anybody gonna try to attack me and my team on the podium? I wish they would try. I'm gonna be the first you do a city council got a gun that can shoot back. So don't get it twisted. You see me on TV saying, DeAndre King, the first man in history to light up a brother on a podium.
On the podium,
Yeah,
no,
he shoots
we
back.
don't want that.
Yeah, you don't get mad at me.
You're gonna have bodyguards around you. You ain't gotta do all that.
You're not gonna have people get mad at me because I'm telling you the truth of how your cities ran in my district. The District 8 is a war zone. You have mental health problems.
Where for people who don't know, where's District 8 located?
It's in Crenshaw Square, Leimert Park,
oh
Ladera
my
Heights.
goodness!
Yeah, all with a Coliseum, man, all the way down there.
Oh my
Broadway.
goodness!
War zone areas in Broadway and 36 all the way around there. So people say, well, how do you stop the crime? You can never promise somebody you're gonna stop no crime.
It's not about It's not
I don't know why people be saying that it's not about this, the mental mentality.
Yes.
The people on the street have mental problems, and you keep building these 400 unit apartments with no mental health facilities nowhere inside.
Nothing, no support.
No support.
No support.
That's for another segment.
Oh, that's gonna be fun right there.
Yeah, I got some accolades, and the missus, the future wife to be, got a program that we gonna end up collabing with my whole team, and looking for this $55 million measurement to do this this whole sacrifice, and despair and poverty, all kind of stuff. Beautiful. So we're gonna do something that's gonna be so immaculate that have the housing, teaching them to bring back all auto shops, banking, tech for AI. I teach you how to do all this because without tech, these kids can't survive. I say, what you going to school for to be a veterinarian for? You want to go ahead, they're gonna have robots. You're
gonna have to be able to work on the robot dogs.
Exactly. So get a tech, go to school for tech and get a real certification trade, and don't worry about college to the hardcore stuff. You need nurses no matter what. But I tell the young girls, don't run the streets and be your boyfriend is a PlayStation 2 or your iPhone 16, which costs $2,200, but you can't afford to get your teeth done.
Exactly. It's wild you say that, because when I look at the Inland Empire where I'm located at, and again, this goes back to, I point to the inclusion and exclusion. Now, we're not far from the same age. Imagine in the 70s when Compton was the way it was, right? In this hood, in the areas where you were talking about, those families say, okay, well, we got to get out of here because I don't want my children to go through what this
Compton,
environment is.
Compton had almost 80% white people in Compton in the 60s.
Now, my transition is you move from Compton to San Bernardino, right, where it's lower income and it's cheaper and affordable, but and then that gets full and infiltrated, and they push them to Colton and Rialto, Moreno Valley,
Clantana, Fontana.
Lantana. You got Lancaster, Palmdale. My point is, we moved around these different locations to create a better life for our families, but we never renew our mindset.
Yep.
So you wonder why San Bernardino is such a detrimental place. Well, if you look at where we came from, we moved from Compton to San Bernardino. You changed location, but never renew your hearts.
Well, you know, San Bernardino got broke. The whole city was broke for almost half a decade.
Yeah,
and no one knew it.
And it still has these areas that needs the conversation that you're talking about. How do we restore our hearts?
It's by listening to one another and bring our concepts.
It ain't even that hard.
It ain't hard to do, and that's why I'm happy for my queen. Well, I call her my goddess now, and she's all the men I need. The kiss, because she's taught me how to understand the other reach of being a black woman in America, and how black women are perceived as being a weak-minded link when you got all the other ones trying to go out there and do things that they shouldn't do. But when it comes to us, we don't get enough credit as Black Americans, which we are. We're not African American. We're Black American.
Exactly.
African descent. So I try to teach our young kids, don't get it twisted. $25 an hour is better than no hours an hour. So I don't know what y'all complain about when you're 18, 19 years old. If you're at home with mama, stay your butt home with mama and dad, raise it and save your money.
Exactly.
Don't go buy a $2,200 phone and you're walking to work. I said that makes a lot of sense, don't it, people? And I have nieces and like that, nephews still that to say, and cousins that same mindset.
Yeah.
Instead of saving their money, we'll go out. Oh, I'm going to buy this $1,100 jacket.
But see, I'm 54. I got 3 daughters and 3 grandchildren, right? So I'm looking back now, like, man, I should have stayed home till at least I was 25, 26. Because independence ain't freedom. Independence is not freedom. And so, but we think, again, our minds are still developing as children, as young adults, and we think it knows what it is to be an adult. And I'm ready to go. And bro, I'm 50. Like I should have stayed home. At least my 25, 30-year-old.
My better half talk about all the time. She's 56. We 2 years apart. She said all the time, stay at home. If you're home to get to 18, you better say that. But she have a program for that to save that money. And these kids be like, why should I stay at home? Because you can't afford a 1-bedroom.
Yeah, not today. It's
not
different
LA,
today.
man.
It's different today.
My boy called LA. He called it one. No, remember one a day vitamins? Remember one a day?
Yeah.
He called LA now. He said one a day. He should call it one a headache. He should make a pill for one a headache. You take that pill, your headache, and it's gonna make all your dreams come true. You're back home with your mom and dad saving money.
Now, on the other part of that conversation that I have with our young men and men is, if you can't afford that woman, leave her where she at too.
Yep. You can't afford that woman. Leave her
where
that
woman, because we are supposed to be the provider. See, the world mixes the biblical conversations together and they get it all jacked up. We are, as men, we are supposed to be the 100% provider. Take care of her. She ain't got to work unless she want to.
That's
not the world today.
It's like I'm gonna get mine. I got these nails are 6 inches long. I can barely even comb my own hair and nails. So I wash the dish, I break it, the world coming to an end. And then you got the young boy thing. I get a Dodge Challenger or a Charger. I'm 18 years old, but I'm gonna take it and go do a street takeover and just burn my tires up because $1,800 a tire. I'm gonna burn in the middle of the street in a big circle. And who paying for that? Your mom.
We had our version of that. It's just with technology and all this, what the world offers now, it's just a higher level scale of what we did. We didn't have that much, but we did what we did still.
And you understand why I'm looking at why President, I call him President Crump. President Crump is doing what he's doing now because he's trying to catch the crooks by shutting down the feds right now, trying to see what's really going on. Because that federal FEMA ain't nothing but a joke. And they should be taking money and doing what they want to do with it. And he just said, I think I may have to close this thing down for a minute to see if we can catch the culprits, to see why this money get to people? He promising you're gonna fix things. If I hire my own company to clean my yard up, I send FEMA a bill for $35,000, and I don't get that money back. I just paid people to clean my yard up, and I'm out $35,000.
Exactly.
But I was promised 100% I get that money back.
Yeah.
So I can't make promises to people in District 8. If y'all hear me out there in my district, I'm not making y'all promises I can't keep.
Right.
I'm gonna do my best to my ability to make change in that district.
And sometimes, you know, we teach from changes is sometimes challenging for people. Maybe we could just alter the conversation just a little bit, change the perspective just a little bit.
Yep.
You know, and so I appreciate you. I'm gonna ask you this because I thought about, like, do I have the courage to run for office? Because you know they'll pull up your past. I'm just saying they'll pull up an old tweet. They'll put up an old Facebook post on you and be like, "Wait,
yeah.
You good with
I'm good on pulling up. I'm good on pulling up all the wonderful things about me. If you want to know, yes, I've been accused of molesting people. I've been accused of sexual assaulting people. But you can't prove nothing. I don't know what you can. But people who throw them stones, watch out. People throw them stones.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And
they throw them stones.
To have a level of confidence. To be, you got to be okay and not have that stuff trigger you.
Yeah, it'll bother me. I say whatever. I know how people who get jealous of me. I have more family members jealous of me. I got friends jealous of me. I have close friends jealous of me, and I never did nothing to them. I say, okay, it's okay to be jealous of me, but I still love you no matter what.
Yes, exactly.
I got you. If something happens to my nieces and nephews, I still got them.
Yeah.
But even if they do weird stuff I laugh about, I still got them no matter what.
Yeah, I think about that because as you see in history, they kill off our leaders, our black leaders, right?
Every time.
And I sit here and I'm like, are we even ready for another black leader like that? Because we talk about ourselves
like the third party,
right? And so who has the confidence and courage to step up and be like, okay, I'm ready to take on this social justice issue. The dream is there. Now what's the next phase of this?
What that all the stuff, the equal thing, and okay, whatever you want to call it, I call it dirt dummy or whatever. But affirmative action to me, I've never been through affirmative action because knowing every job I got it because of my skill set.
See.
Everything I ever got, because I'm a hell of a security expert. Yeah. I'm a hell of a 4.5 years federal agent for Homeland, a threat assessment analyst, and people don't realize. No one in my family even knew I was that. I was sworn to tell anybody. My job was to threat assessment and to assess any threat, that school shootings, any active shooter, and have a hire team to go and investigate. You know, now one person at LA Unified wanted to talk to me about how to subside the threat assessment of school shootings. Yeah. They don't want to talk. The superintendent, Alberto Dodo, I call him Alberto Dodo, he don't want to speak to me. I had a 200-page inquiry back in 2022. He didn't want to talk to me. But you keep forgetting, he's an immigrant.
Yes.
So you immigrant making $433,000 a year.
That's what I'm saying.
But you're laying off principals, teachers.
Thank you.
I think
the Inglewood School District been suffering for 13, 14 years.
Yeah. And I think vets should have paid no more taxes or teachers.
Man, we want the education that we have. We're ready to demonstrate that we can transform that environment.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna next his last segment. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna get a shout out to all the people who are involved in my campaign and what we're gonna do for the city of Los Angeles District 8.
Well, let's take this identification break and come back because we got a few more minutes. We got about 22 minutes left, so I want you to make sure you cover that. This is Trench Talk Edition US right here at Farron Dozier Show, MBR platform. Again, thank you for listening in. We're going to play these PSAs and come right back for some more conversation with DeAndre Adams. Shout us out.
Some of us still carry the burden of battle. It threatens to drown us in our everyday lives. In battle, we had our weapons and combat gear to keep us safe, to keep us confident. But when we returned home, we were not armed with weapons and gear to cope with our own minds. I was lucky to find my combat gear, my mental weapon, and it's called Calmago. Calmago is a drug-free device that allows you to achieve calm in less than 3 minutes. in moments of anxiety, stress, anger, panic, or insomnia, not with medication, but rather by activating the parasympathetic nervous system through breathing regulation and multisensory stimulation. A recent study has shown that Comago decreases PTSD and anxiety levels in veterans, helping those who are suffering and having a long-lasting effect. Visit Comago.com to learn how you can get Comago through the VA or with a special veterans discount code.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, did you see the game last night?
Oh, that was a good game.
But did you see the shot?
I lost money from that shot.
Oh, man, that shot was cold,
I
man.
hated it, but it was good. Damn. What's in those jeans?
You really want to know?
I do.
Exhaustion, muscle spasms, asthmatic issues, unexpected sickle cell trait crises.
Damn. Are you serious? When I was young, I found out I had sickle cell trait. My mom's told me, but I ain't have no knowledge of it. But when I got older, I had a child, and the doctor told me my daughter has sickle cell trait. Do you know the facts that both parents have sickle cell trait? There's a 50% chance the child may have the trait, and 25% chance the child may have the disease.
Hey, that's what's the count. Do you know that 2.5 million people in the United States have sickle cell trait, 300 million people globally? I didn't find out I had sickle cell trait until I was in the Army, 10 years. Next thing you know, I had a sickle cell trait exertion site.
Sickle cell? I thought that was a black gene or something.
Nah, man, the Latin community is number 2. 1 out of 36,000 babies are being born with sickle cell disease. You could be Caucasian, Mediterranean, European. You gotta know your bloodline, man. There is an inherited gene in our community that has been forgotten. The name is sickle cell trait. WDCONSCT, also known as What's the Count, is out to bring awareness, education, and prevention to people all over the globe. Want more information? Call us now at 323-215-5384 or visit www.wdconsct.org. Tune in to the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM, also streaming from the KCARadio.com website on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific Time. Brought to you by Sports Collective TV, Sports Collective Radio, and Sports Collective Media. We got the Heme Factor, we got In the Zone, and we got Fourth Down in the 20-second timeout sports segment. All for you right here on the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM, also streaming from the KCARadio.com website with my guest hosts Robert Lamar and Coach Will. Catch us on Sports Collective Media on Instagram and Facebook, and make sure you watch us Sunday nights at 8 p.m. on KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM, also streaming from the KCARadio.com website. Music, talk, sports, and so much more on the Farron Dozier Show.
I just wanna breathe this name, my God. Lift this name up high, dedicate this vibe, give 'em all we got. We will testify with our hands out, keep 'em up in the sky.
I just wanna praise. I just wanna praise. I just wanna praise. I just wanna praise. I made it up out of the city, avoided the hate and the gritty. Me and my little brother, my lovely mother tried to make it easy, but we was some knuckles though. We used to let them knuckles throw. We used to let them chuckles go when we thought about the places we would go. Yeah, lights off. Yeah, no, really. Lights off. Yeah, no money. Lights off. Under the candlelight.
All right, welcome back to the Farron Dozier Show, Trench Talk U.S. edition. Make sure you catch the Revolution Radio Show on GH3. God's Out to Hip Hop, powered by Lit Live. Used to be Dash Radio. I recorded that episode yesterday, and they will air Saturday at 7 p.m. and again Sunday at 5 p.m. That is the Revolution Radio Show. Shouts out to One Way TK. He's hanging out with me on that clip you saw. That was my previous co-host, J Love and Lillian. They're on break right now, so I'm holding it down with One Way TK. We've had some great interviews with some Christian hip hop artists, sharing their journeys, sharing their experiences before they came to Christ, what was going on in life as well. So, and we played some of the hottest CHH. Now, it took me a while because back in my growing up days, Christian hip hop was corny. Today it is not corny. I'm telling you, today you heard that track in the background. It is not corny today. And by being the host on that and pulling the music for our talk show, you know, my heart got softened and I started listening to some of that music and I'm like, this is actually pretty good. And it's got the word in it. So Christian hip hop, you know, and plus now having to heal my heart from a lot of these, you know, you listen to a song, it'll take you back to your childhood. It takes you back to all those moments, good, bad, or indifferent. But now to be able to fill my heart with some spirituality, with some Christian, with some word, it's balancing out. And sometimes you don't change, you just gotta fill it up with a new program. And so for me, that Holy Spirit and that biblical context is a whole nother program that I had to learn for myself. You know, my parents, my grandparents, being in church all those years, they did what they could do. They planted those seeds, but at some point it was up to me to find God for myself. And so when I had to do that, and not really had to, but I desired to, I've had a great time in my walk, very great time in my walk. And it's not about talking about the word. Those scriptures are for you first. You got to get that word for you first, and then your life will be an example of that. And then if there's a moment that you can share a word with somebody, then you can meet that person with that word. But for me, what I'm learning is that word is for me first, and then I got to apply it to my life. You need, they say it's knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. That's like what you hear growing up. I learned at 54, it is knowledge, understanding, comprehension, revelation, wisdom, and then you apply all that to your life, right? And so if you're interested in that, it is on Lit Live, GH3, God's Hip Hop is a channel, and you can catch me over there on Saturdays and Sundays. All right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm just amazed that after knowing you these years, and like I said, for me, the confidence or the courage that it takes to go in that political system, like I'm glad to hear that you are actually taking that on, especially in that area. I know that I used to be on Morris Media Studios right there,
Yeah.
right across from McDonald's.
Yes.
I used to be
Yeah,
there for a couple of years after LA Talk Live shut down.
Yeah.
We went to the station right there. So I'm familiar. Grew up off of Adams and Jefferson between.
Oh, okay. I know exactly what Adams and
I
Jefferson.
know that area real well. So
It's a war zone.
yeah. So today, what do you want to say about that before we get out of here?
Well, you know what? First of all, I want to give the biggest shout out to my God, my Lord and Savior. That's the reason why I'm still here, and God give me opportunity to run. And quick story: how I started street takeover one night, coming home from the missus. Took over off Imperial and Western by the Southwest College.
Yeah.
And I bagged my car up, and they followed me, 6 units, and they put 6 shotguns on me. The sheriff did. They surrounded my car. They thought I was involved in a street takeover. 2 kids went ahead in traffic in a Challenger and ran down the hill at the college, the high.
Oh my!
So I'm bagging up the car. They figure, well, what am I doing in a Prius? Well, I'm gonna do the 360 turn. So it's when they got from I have a gun in the car and the license, and they
lost their mind.
The black dude of all people, the brother, he acted more way out than the white cops did. Sheriff did. He called me Crenshaw Mafia nigga. You want them Nipsey Hussle, mother?
Oh no, he didn't.
I said, did you just call me in front of the clear people? And I got to help with calling people who are the good old boys clear people. I call people who racist to me clear people, and I mean white, black, Asian,
yeah.
So I said, you gonna call me, and the white dude he thought it was funny. He started laughing. Clear people, I said, yeah, clear people. And the brother showing out. I said, I guess you want to show out, and so go ahead and show out for the people. And he did. And I said, okay. I guess you get you kind of embarrassed. I couldn't catch him on one car. I caught on one car. All these sheriffs is right down the street next door to the Southwest. The sheriff department is. And y'all couldn't catch none of these cars doing the circles in Imperial. So I'm trying to put rules in place. If they catch your kid, street ticket, the mother and father are responsible, the kids at home, for any damage to our public properties in the school on the streets, they gotta get that bill from the city of his 10 racks. Your parents will have to pay restitution, or somebody going to jail. That's the law I want to put in place if I come and run for councilman in that district. You're not going to do that on my dime. You're not going to do that on my dime. And whoever, I think it's Holly Mitchell's area over there. Her,
okay.
I think
I heard of her.
Yeah, so good luck. Yeah, supervisor. If you want to let your people do that stuff, make the parents pay for it.
Yeah.
Make these parents say, okay, my son Johnny's in the bed. No, Johnny's at 7-Eleven, raiding 7-Eleven. So that's why I say I need to run. And shout out to my boy. I'm gonna give him a shout out, Marquise Harris Dawson, who's the current District 8. I'm not gonna say anything bad about the brother, but I don't think he do enough for 8. This is his last 3 year of a 4-year term. This is his last third term. He's terming out in 28. That's it for him.
Okay.
And for some reason, I think I don't know if he's scared to come to the hood, but he promised my sister stuff when she had her nonprofit for foster care. Never showed up none of the photos. No kind of cleanup for the alley cleanup she was trying to do.
Yeah.
Never. So I asked her. Well, so one day I went to she got her city thing in front of for the city. She got her recommendation from the city. He didn't show up for that. They give it to her.
Wow.
So I'm wondering why. I know for a fact I can't be a city councilman like that. And now you're the president of the city council.
No.
You're running that too. So how can you call yourself a city councilman and you're not even trying to show the people? He wasn't even from the hood. He wasn't even born in LA. He was born, I think he had San Gabriel, son of a preacher. I don't knock him being a son of a preacher.
Yeah. No. It's for me again, how you want to clean that up, right?
Yeah. How you gonna clean it up is the people.
Yes.
You got to get them something back. You got to show them we have initiatives in District 8. So this big ideal was what my fiance getting with was Sacrifice Poverty and Despair Academy. What the academy is going to be maintained is the kids will have to maintain a 3-point grade point average or to get into the academy, and we'll have funding like scholarships, grant scholarships. Hopefully, the president understands some of these scholarships are needed for some of these schools are private academy. Well, everybody won't be able to go to this academy. It's the kids who never had a chance to go to UCLA, USC can come to this academy and learn auto mechanics, home tech, auto mechanics, home tech, cooking, culinary, AI technology. But we also have living there, maybe 100 units on the property that people will be able to go to mental health facilities to learn who they are, how they lost along the way.
That's
nice. Her being a veteran, and this program runs about 55 million, but guess what? Some people who love me so much will willing to give me the money for it. 55 million. Because I'm gonna put it right there. We're gonna find land, and I could collaborate with another councilman in a certain district. I can do that, and it makes something happen. Because why not?
Why not? Why can't you work together?
Yeah, work together. So that we can make sure we get these people understand. They own the streets. This is what I found out. People's homeless on the streets. Their mindset is like no one cares. We get tuned out. No one really cares about me.
Yes.
And what 41% of them, I think, on the streets, if you do a census again, are veterans on the street.
A large population.
A large population. So you ask them, well, why are vets on the street? We got all this housing for them. No, you don't have all the housing for them. You do not have a lot of housing for them. What you have is Section 8 capability. Vets don't want Section 8 capability. They're getting their funds from you guys, our people.
Yeah.
But then you guys want to cut all the defense spending. Donald Trump wanted to boost the defense. Donald Trump said, get them soldiers that money if we can keep our borders clear. And when the Democrat side said we're not going to get that money to them, guess what happened? Open it wide open. Everybody comes in.
Everybody coming in.
So his words are deadly. He said God has blessed him, but now they're talking about, well, he didn't put his hand on the Bible when he got sworn in. You know what? It's so funny you say that because Every president back in the day, we didn't have a camera angle that we have now. Camera angles.
Right.
How do we know Kenny put his hand on the Bible? How do you know Ronald
Exactly.
Reagan put his hand on Obama? How do you
Exactly.
know that?
You don't.
You don't know. So
You don't.
y'all actually put a camera underneath that man's clothing where his private parts here to see if he was putting his hand on the Bible. What sick person would think when they did that?
Yeah.
So you ask yourself, that's crazy to me.
When you said that, when one of the ways to fix it is to have the parents be a part of that
Be a part of consequences. Because
Right.
here's that parent. We had a couple of parents growing up. Oh, my kids never do that. But we had they was the worst drug dealers in our whole entire street.
Right.
These three boys was.
Right.
I'm not gonna say their name because we real good friends.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And they mama was always like, my boys never do nothing, but your boys had a drug house right out of my house. When I was in Pomona, your son. If he ever see this show, he know exactly what I'm talking about. I came back from Mississippi just to fight him because we lost our home, only owing 4 more mortgage payments to the FBI, the raid.
The raid?
From a raid, they ended up taking our home. My mother only owed 6 payments to my dad to own the house.
No.
Yeah. And so he took the house. He said, well, I'll pay it off for you. I want to have my cousin move in. He turned it into a drug lab house.
That's not cool.
So when I found out, I come back to California to fight him. We're going to fight. Knife fight. We're going to have total. I got cut right here. He got diced up pretty bad. I mean, he showed the marks now. I let him live. I wanted you to live. The pain. You thought you lived because I didn't want you to live? I was highly trained. I wanted you to live. I cut a Achilles. I cut an artery in his neck.
All right.
You know, I did all the small things.
Right.
So I let him know I'm here to stay. That's what it was.
I want to point out, this philosophy and theology and ideology that I live from is why what you said is important to me, because again, it goes back to the biblical principle, the commandment with a promise, right? Honor your father and mother, to have those long days, right?
To live longer,
right? So when you look at that, and as I shared earlier in the beginning of the show, honor your father and mother is not that you love or like them, but how you think about them. And if we can teach our children to honor their father and mother, to think, what am I if I go and do this crime or steal this candy? Think about what is the reputation I'm going to do to my family? What is my mom going to say about this? What's my dad going to say about that?
Yes.
That's long, and that's a quick conversation to yourself to make you say, no, I'm not. You know what? I can't do that. My parents are not gonna. They're not gonna approve of that behavior. But we don't have that because maybe sometimes that child, if it's like a bully, I'm gonna take my frustration out on you so I can redirect it. But I'm really hurting at the house because I can't get attention from my parents. So you're gonna pay attention to me one way.
One way or the other.
If you don't pay attention to me because I'm doing a good thing,
one way or the
other. You pay attention to me I'm doing a bad thing.
Exactly.
And I believe that's that disconnection between that child and parent. And we can restore that.
We sure can.
Big Dre, we can restore that relationship.
Yeah, we sure can. And that's what it comes to mental health. This is why this facility and this academy needs to be built because we want to have 100 units there plus a mental health facility on the property. And you can go there and you have a 24-hour daycare for people who can't have for the kids go to work at night. The mother's stressed out when you can't go to work.
Now imagine that again. We go back to the school district, and the child is worried about what's going on at home, but you want me to pay attention in class. I'm worried about how I'm gonna get home. I'm worried about what's going on at home. I'm worried about what I'm gonna eat at night.
Exactly.
But I've got to pay attention, and you want me to be able to pay attention in the classroom.
Exactly. So when you're 11 years old and don't know what's going on, your next meal coming from, the mama gonna be at home and she'll be knocked out. A needle in her vein, all the stuff. How you expect that little 11-year-old kid to deal with that in school? And they call it pressure.
Man. Come on. I was a what they call a latchkey kid in 1978, and I had to walk home second grade by myself with the key around my neck.
Yeah.
Right. And go in the house and don't turn the oven on. Don't go outside. Don't answer the phone. Don't do nothing. But you know what I heard? I heard my mom say when she gave me that key, here's the key to the front door, Farron. I'm leaving you. When you come home, don't. All I heard was, I'm leaving you. And the pain that I felt made me say that my mom abandoned me and that I can't
Wow.
trust her.
Yep.
At
That's all
8
you.
years
That's all you
old,
heard. All you heard was that was it. You
that
didn't
was
hear
it.
don't. You say I'm leaving you.
And the concept of an 8-year-old for some have no concept of time. It felt like 20 hours being at home by myself
Myself for 5 or 6 hours you got to work.
at
Exactly.
8 years. And you know, when I healed that, that was 8 years old. You know when I healed that? At 51, just 3 years ago,
You
because I
healed.
sat in a CBT cognitive behavior course at the VA and I
Mm-hmm.
put that story in that curriculum, and I realized it was only 90 minutes. It wasn't even, it felt like 20 hours, but it was 90 minutes. So then I could no longer say that my mom abandoned me because I had to tell the truth to myself. Is 90
Wow.
minutes being abandoned, Farron?
I
No,
know. Yep. I know.
no. But
Yep.
that's how it felt as a child. So
Wow.
you're talking about 32 years, Big Dre, that I lived like my mom abandoned me and talked and treated her as such and talked
Wow.
to her as such. Disconnected.
You see, I'm talking about in the educational part of it, what comes in this academy, and I'm gonna give the biggest shout out to my boy Tyre. Tyre is a math genius. We created a
Man,
math called character math. When I tell you,
gotta do it,
when
man.
you meet this brother, the kids who have problems, they're learning. He can teach you character math in less than 20 minutes to teach you your math multiplications. Do zero. For everything comes back to two. He's a mathematical genius. So we're going to take that character math and this whole evolution, this whole academy, and put it into our biggest curriculum. That's where all the money gonna come. We talking rich white folks saying, "Look, man, Dre, how much you gonna need?" One couple told me, "Would $25 million be enough?"
Come on,
and he
man.
said because she heard the word education and character math, she was so blown away.
Come on, man.
And shout out to my boy Tom Johnson, my financial guy. Tom said, Dre, that's how we're going to get this money, what you're going to need through character math. When people see what they're seeing, educate themselves. And, you know, we do it, 25th in the world when it comes to math? I mean,
we last.
We last. Our kids walk around there.
We teach stuff out of order, too.
Oh, my God. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 is a PlayStation. 3 plus 3 is Roblox. 4 plus 4 is just Japanese anime when the women got boobs and butt on a cartoon. I got grown men in my house watching anime when showing boobs and women. These Japanese, they show natural curves.
Yes.
It's
in
crazy.
Cartoons, in cartoon fashion.
And so I'm saying to myself,
you're right.
And you ask yourself, why am I beating us in space and everything else?
Exactly.
They can't try to be the astronauts. They are not trying to be astronauts. I didn't even know that Debbie Allen's mom and Felicia Rashad's mother was one of the Hidden Figures.
Yeah.
She was one of the Hidden Figures. Her mom was one of the Hidden Figures. I didn't know that. And then Bill Montgomery's his cousin was Katherine Johnson. They named the Johnson Space Center out there. It wasn't the president Lyndon. It was because of her.
Yeah.
What did the president do besides we forced him in to sign a civil rights bill with Dr. King?
That's a whole nother story. We got to come back to that one.
Whole other story. So
you got to come back.
At the end of the day, I appreciate the time on here. I want to give a shout out to a list of all my people.
Go ahead. Let them know.
Starting out first, we know, of course, the Kiss Pew and her vision from Sacrifice and Poverty and Despair Academy, which we're going to put and make it come to fruition in 2025, 26. We're going to be breaking ground. The Lord said the same. I speak it into existence. And my boy Chris Corrales, from the president and CEO of Lend and Loans out of Costa Mesa. I know he listed. And my boy Derek D, Crazy Tunes, that do all of my stuff for me, my shirts, all our logo stuff for us. And of course, my boy Kevin Indio Copeland, who was listening. And my boy, of course, Tyre. And you know, of course, made me a Rodney out of Rippy.
All right, Rodney.
For sure. And and a host of group, all my friends who I didn't get. Kevin, who's the one that made me a part of, the Hall of Fame of Bodyguards. And our next show is Detroit this year, so I'll be going to Detroit for the next show. And Bare Knuckles Bodyguard, and he's the reason why I was the first ever inductee in 2018. And I appreciate that.
Where's the shoulder? You got the award? Is that award in front of you? Where's it? Where did the award go?
Right here. It was just
the
very first award I got was this. I got that. Then I decided, we got a show before that. Of course, it was the very first American
That's
flag
the
we got.
Veterans Talk Live.
Yeah, so we had celebrities. We made sure everybody got one of these, and of course, and of course, one of my 2 books. This is my first one that no one knew about. Now, if you want to get an order of book, it's like $9.99, and you just call me direct. I have one sent to you.
Yeah.
But my main book is going to be Amazon, and my book tour is called Behind the Vest: The Memoirs of a Celebrity Bodyguard. So you guys can meet me, and y'all can see me
behind the vest.
Yes, behind the vest. And
Jeez.
and it's this tells the real story of who DeAndre really is.
Right.
You're not getting all these celebrity stories. The tell-all book, you're getting the real G, who I really was, and what the things I did. I'm not ashamed of, but it was some character. It was some mathematics, and it was some John Gotti stuff back in the day.
Man, I appreciate you, man, for hanging. It's been a blessing to sit here and talk to you, man.
Yes. And of course, you got me at Queens_Rose1 is my Instagram, and my newest political one is Dre Adams D8 2028 at that's my handle for at Gmail. Gmail me for all my political stuff. You got political contributions. I will be on the platform for the city council probably later part of July. I'm trying to wait.
If you need a veteran, let me know.
Oh, that's gonna be all.
If you need a veteran voice, let me know.
Oh no, you definitely gonna do it for my health part, mental health. I mean the advocate, mental health advocate, which will be on my payroll because I want to make sure that you are getting compensated and helping bring all these men and women who are going through things. And anybody out there who's going through trying to get their benefits,
for sure.
Give us a holler. We have accolades, my boy. We should have a boy on the week next week. We should have Eric on there. March.
Hey,
I'm gonna tell we gotta get him on there. Yeah, I gotta be a partner back, man. Because of him, we represent.
I still talk to him.
Tell him we gotta have him on next week, man.
Yeah.
So, and look out for me on the new one, the boxing platform. Is it bags for canvas?
I call it bags to canvas.
Bags to canvas. Y'all don't know. And our first guest, special guest, I'm gonna try to get my boy Buddy McGirth, 2-time world champion, and the 10-time world champion, lights out James Toney.
Okay.
I'm talking to Jay.
I'll be ready.
And our boy Zab Zuda. So look out.
I interviewed Zab already.
So you know.
Zab already.
So we're gonna do Mr. Tony. We're gonna reach out to you, James.
Let's
and
go.
Get you on there. And once again, Farouk, for y'all don't know who Farouk is, man. If he's single, women, if he's single, he the man. He's a good one. Y'all better catch him.
But you gotta be with Christ though.
It's
the order now. I figured it. I got it now. It's gotta be.
You gotta be a Christ. But I give a shout out to my other half. She over there smiling, little fro.
Tell us that thank you for helping too.
He said thank you for helping on the kiss. Appreciate you. She gave it right on. And look out now. And look, if y'all need somebody to drive a truck, she's not gonna do it anymore. She retired, but we are building our own trucking company. Coming soon. What was the name we had? Paper Chaser's name, Shaking the Papers. That's a new.
Shaking the Papers.
That's our new truck. Logic company we're coming out with. So look out for our trucks, man. We coming. We believe we're gonna need drivers. We open our heart to veteran drivers too. You're a vet, look for work. We have a security company. I have a big mission. Oh, I want to say a shout out just before we leave to my boy Dennis. I just sent you a link to your phone.
Okay.
We just signed a 10-year lease for 10,000 sports stadium in Ohio. It's called Flying. It's called Flying Arena. So I'm part of that right now. And I just sent it to your phone. Take a look at that.
Man,
when I tell you that arena, all sporting thing, he wanted to talk to you because your ABA.
Let's talk. Yes.
So I talked to my boy Dennis, and he's one of the guys that just closed the deal for 10 years. We got that whole facility. They got over 4,000 parking spots, holds 10,000 in the arena.
Goodness.
We're gonna be doing our first boxing event. Gonna be there in the late part of July now, and I'm part of that. So
let's get it, man.
You're
such a blessing. For those listening, thank you for listening. I want you to, before you log off, I want you to hear. This is my mentor. I've been working with Caldwell for the last 8 years almost. He's the one that's leaving me the mental health education. One of those. That he has. So I want y'all to listen to this. This is his documentary that's going to be coming out. It's about 4 minutes. I want y'all to hear this. This is the Farron Dozier Show, Trench Talk US edition. Just check out. This is Caldwell Williams.
The most compelling social need of humans is to belong. All four of my grandparents were born slaves. My father's father, he was 7 years old and sold away from everything and everybody he knew. He never again saw any member of his family. My father, he was born in 1884. His mother had died in childbirth, and he raised himself from age 8. The sheriff came with his posse, took my father and my oldest brother and beat them. My father died with scars on his back from that beating. If the sheriff puts you in jail in a Jim Crow South, where do you turn to seek justice? I love school. It became a source of me finding myself. When I had graduated from UCLA in 1957 and was never even able to get an interview, no Jews, no Negroes, no Hispanics, no Orientals need apply. Now what do I do? Boy, you add color to our faculty. That's all we're interested in. All the other counselors were instructed to give me their failing seniors, dopers, rebels, suicidals. Listening to 12th graders who were not going to graduate, they told me what was going on in their lives. I discovered that I had something to offer people that I thought had everything.
Word was already out on the campus that the skinny black dude was cool. I got all these kids who want to talk to me, and I don't have enough time to see them.
I think I might be able to see everybody if I saw them in groups.
Individual psychotherapy on a couch was the only method. Skinny black dude wanted to do groups? You can't do that, because it doesn't exist.
To hell with them, let's do it anyway. Parents want to know, what are you doing to bring about this reaction in my kid? I've been sending my kids to the best psychiatrist in Southern California, and this hasn't happened. This shit works. Developing adolescence without narcotics is a radical new national idea. Oh, you can't do that. Alternative school that includes sensitivity to the mental health needs of our students. This is too big for you. Would you be willing to train my managers? Yeah. Who's Caldwell Williams? He hasn't published anything. 22 Iraq-Afghan veterans committing suicide every day. I think I know who these young people are. Mr. Williams, you don't want to touch this. You don't know who we are, Mr. Williams. And I said, yes, I know who you are. Maybe you don't know who you are. Did your parents encounter racism? Oh my gosh, yes. How about your grandparents? Oh my, even worse. Then how did we get here? Someone persisted and prevailed in spite of. I would assert that no less is required of us.
So when you hear me talk about emotional intelligence and veteran suicide and youth suicide, I was already on that journey with my personal development courses and the stuff that God had put me on that path. And then I met Caldwell in 2018, and he and I have been going through his education. I'm the only one he's been trained and developed. People have fallen off. Most people don't think that children can do this kind of work. I've taught emotional intelligence in LA Unified School District this past year to 4th and 5th graders and middle school students. It works for veterans suicide, as you saw. He's 90 years old, about to be 91 this coming year. He has been doing this work for over 6 decades, man. And so that's the guy that his education is phenomenal, man. And it's a simple conversation.
And he said what my better half been saying forever when it comes to childhood trauma, what you did,
yes,
you can be healed. And this man's talking about everything he's talking about. This dude is unbelievable.
That's the work. That's the work.
To deal with white people like that. And
That's what I'm saying.
Jim Crow era, and
That's the work.
That dude's a legend. Do we got a book out?
Got a book, but like I said, I've been working since 2018, and no one listens because they don't believe that anybody can do that work.
Who shot a documentary? He done with it? Ready to go?
It's almost finished. Yeah, it's almost finished.
Yeah, I got the film. Man, I got that 5 or 10 minutes. Yeah, I got my boy Dennis West.
That's the work I've been preaching, man. That's the work I've been sharing from his education, the stuff that I learned with my own personal life. Like we got the work. It's just we've been to the school district, we've been to the superintendent. Like you said, all the people you pointed out, we've been trying to get to them. Mayor Butts in Inglewood, like we want to demonstrate a
positive. See, Mayor Butts, like the rest of them, the former cop, has that mentality.
Hey, I'm no judge.
Exactly, I don't judge. I'm a judge and jury, but I tell you what, I'm the court reporter. If I tell people, I ain't no judge and jury, but I'm the person typing what you saying every day. I'm typing it. I'm putting his brain and saying, "You want to tell us you can't, but you know you can."
Let us show you. Let us show you.
Let us show you, man. Don't talk about it. We think about it. So that's why this $55 million measure we want to have for the school. We do a good number because I think 55 million is going to be more than enough to what we have to do, and we have money to do what we want to do because education is part of it. Because people know America wasn't built on oops. America was built on the shoulders of all immigrants on this earth.
Yes.
And then we look at all the patents we have, and then we look at the biggest fault I have with our people is all this reparations. I said, let me tell you some people. Break it down to reparations. And I'm going to say quick scenario and we're done.
Yeah.
$100 million offered to you and 100 acres of land. And can you take it or leave it? You sign a contract, now you happy. I got 100 million and I got 100 acres of land. They come to me and say, well, your great-grandfather invented the ironing board, the signal light, and we just found out that you're the sole heir of his empire. How much is it? $11 trillion. Now you just messed around and you said 100 million is good enough for me. So I got life wealth now for all my grandbabies, all my great-grands. It's a big difference when you have all that patent money.
Different life.
Just hear about little reparations. You can't put a number on reparations.
No, you can't. You can't.
How you gonna put one on there? But everybody know for a fact, for you or me, probably kidding that person who invented something in America.
Yes.
We probably sold that lie. We second or third cousin. But guess what? They found out the Bruce family had all them people, and the Bruce family got their beats back and were down there.
I remember, the Manhattan.
I went to the ceremony. Then me and my other half went to the beach, and we read what they went through. Wow. And that's what it is. We go through.
And didn't they still sell it?
People keep saying they sold it. That's it. But I heard they get a check every month.
Oh, they get a check though. Okay.
Like leasing the land. But all the white people living on that land and don't know it's owned by black people.
Right.
You told that I want to buy that.
Well, move out.
And you got to move out. But see, that's it. So why would you not do that? Why would you understand? So God is good. That's why I tell everybody.
Thank you, man. Well, thank you for hanging out. I look forward to talking to you on the sports show on KCAA. Bags to Canvas, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't wait. We coming.
Bags to Canvas. Dre, man, thank you for your time today.
Hey, Mr. Dozier, blessings.
God bless. Thank you so much.
We out here. All right.
We out. Thank you. All right. Thanks for listening in to Trench Talk US, the edition of the Farron Dozier Show. Again, we got to get out of here. We're already an hour and 48 minutes. At Farron Dozier on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you want to be a guest or you have something to say, you want to have a conversation, just reach out to me. Appreciate you. We got to get out of here. Where's my outro at? Oh, we're going to go right here. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us, giving our veterans a voice.